Chapter 11, The Holy Book of Taixuan Slashing Dao, Xuan-level Spiritual Weapon, Scarlet Sky Blade. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Many people have entered the sutra library, all of them are eagerly choosing their skills. However, many people sneered at the skills on the first floor and went directly to higher floors. In their opinion, the higher the floor, the better the skills stored, but Changge went the other way. He looked at those people rushing to the second floor, raised a strange smile on his face, and then walked towards a bookshelf in front of him. The sloppy old man told him in the voice transmission that there are good things on the upper floors, but the best things are not on the upper floors, but on the first floor. It is an ordinary secret book, it seems so, but there is another secret inside. The hiding place is on the sixth grid of the seventh floor of the most conspicuous bookshelf on the first floor. As long as you enter the door, you can see it at first sight. If you want it, you don't need to bend down, just reach out and get it. Changge understands that the most dangerous place is the safest place, so the sect leader placed this skill under everyone's eyes. What a pity. He shook his head. What a pity, those people are all fools. Thanks to my polite greetings to my elders, I finally got lucky. He walked to the bookshelf and looked down. There are 10 layers in total, and the 7th layer is right at my chest. I can see it at a glance, which is very conspicuous. There are many secret books on the 7th layer. A rough count shows that there are more than 20 books. And the one in the middle is his target. It is a gray secret book, lying quietly like that, without any breath flowing out. It looks very ordinary and ordinary. Changge's wrist trembled slightly. He looked around and made sure that there was no one around. He suddenly took action and took it in his hand. After taking it in hand, he felt extraordinary. It's just a book, but it weighs 100,000 pounds. This is too terrifying. Thanks to his current surge in strength, otherwise he might not be able to lift this book. He hurriedly opened it, and a simple and rich Taoist charm suddenly came to his face. There is really something else inside. Looking down, the secret book was engraved with dense tadpole characters, as graceful as a startled swan, as if swimming a dragon, with strange light flashing, exuding profound and mysterious truths. Suddenly, Changge was ecstatic. And he also saw the name of this secret book. The cover of this secret book is just an ordinary one, Splitting Water Fist. But the page number marked below the page inside is written Taixuan Slashing Dao Holy Canon. Ha ha ha. This time I really picked up a big bargain. In order to prevent the night from getting too long, Changge didn't look at it much, and hurriedly put it in his arms, then turned around and left. Unexpectedly, just after walking a few steps and before going out, a voice suddenly sounded behind him. Stop. Changge paused and turned around. I saw that the man was very big, muscular, bald, and had a very fierce face. He recognized this man. This is also the disciple of the weird old man Taifeng, named Wang Jinglong, whose strength far exceeds Wang Shan, and he is a 7th level transcendent realm existence. What's wrong? Changge asked tentatively. I suspect that your martial arts book is strange, bring it here for me to see. Wang Jinglong is not a fool. He just picked up a secret book from the 3rd floor and was about to go back. However, when he passed by here, he suddenly heard Changge's laughter. He immediately realized that Changge was very likely to have obtained a good thing. Since it is a good thing, it is not up to him. Impossible. Why should I give it to you? Changge flatly refused. Wang Jinglong grinned and shouted, you don't want to give it, right? Then I'll rob it. He suddenly flashed and rushed towards Changge. Changge only felt a flash of strong wind in front of him, and a terrifying pressure had already enveloped him, with a huge momentum, like thunder and lightning. The 7th level transcendent realm cultivation broke out in full force. Wang Jinglong would not attack if he did not, but he would defeat him completely once he attacked. Changge was not a pushover either. He took a deep breath, and the blood-red qi in his body instantly surged, and all the meridians suddenly exploded with the sound of thunder and waves. Boom! Suddenly there was a bang, and a pure purple qi rushed over, like a shock wave, directly covering Wang Jinglong's face. His nose instantly exploded and became shattered, blood flowed on his face, and he flew backwards in embarrassment. Changge's eyes condensed. This was not his move. Since it is not easy for you to practice, I will spare your life. Get out. An old voice came from outside the door. Changge's eyelids jumped, and he realized that it was the sloppy old man who took action. Pure purple chi, it seems that the senior has an extraordinary identity. Puff puff puff. Wang Jinglong's face changed horribly, and his brain was buzzing after being hit by this chi, but fortunately the other party did not intend to kill him, but just punished him. Even so, it also broke his nose, and he needed to swallow precious materials to repair it. For a moment, Wang Jinglong was shocked and angry, struggling to get up and walk out. He also vaguely guessed that the sloppy old man at the door was not an ordinary person, but a hidden strong man. When passing by Changge, he lowered his voice and warned sinisterly, "Someone will protect you here, but other places." Wait. Changge has never been afraid of him, and shouted, "Okay. I'll wait." What a joke. He has blood-red true chi, and his strength is 8 times that of the same level cultivators, and his real cultivation is equivalent to the 8th level of transcendent. This cultivation is enough to beat the 7th level of transcendent. Wang Jinglong left. Changge did not stay for too long, and walked out with the Taixuan Jidao Holy Scripture. When he passed by the sloppy old man, he bowed and said, "Thank you for your help, senior." The sloppy old man looked at him with admiration, and said earnestly, "Practice well, don't slack off." Then, he came over, took out a dazzling golden dagger from his body, and stuffed it into Changge's mouth with lightning speed. "I killed a lot in my early years, and I was entangled in karma, so I can't kill people at will. This thing is a mysterious spiritual weapon Xiao blade. Your cultivation is not as good as Wang Jinglong. If he makes trouble for you, you can use this to fight him." Changge's heart moved. Weapons are divided into ordinary weapons, spiritual weapons, divine weapons, holy weapons, and imperial weapons. Each type is divided into 4 realms: level, earth, mysterious level, and yellow level. Like the elixir, it is also the lowest and highest level of yellow. The saint weapons and the emperor weapons are collectively called Dao weapons, which belong to the category of extreme Dao weapons. The sloppy old man did not have stronger weapons in his hands, but he was afraid that the treasure would cause trouble to Changge, so he gave him a spiritual weapon, which he thought was enough for Changge. Although Changge was not afraid of Wang Jinglong, he was not hypocritical. He directly accepted the Qi Xiao blade and said, "Thank you, senior. You're welcome. Remember what I said, practice well, and don't slack off." Changge nodded in agreement. Immediately, he took the teleportation array and left here. Not long after, Changge returned to the main peak, and then returned to Lihua Peak without stopping. He wanted to give this terrifying Taixuan Jidao Holy Scripture to the beautiful master. The more terrifying things are, the more terrifying the system's subsidies will be. This is why he didn't keep this thing privately. And this time when he went to the Sutra Pavilion, he not only got this treasure, but also got a Xuan-level spiritual weapon. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone, making a fortune. P.S. I saw many readers like to leave comments in the background, and they want to comment on every chapter. Coincidentally, I like such people. Welcome to comment actively. Chapter 12 Master, if you treat me well, I will definitely treat you well. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Soon, Changge arrived in front of the courtyard gate. "Disciple, are you here again? The door is ajar. Come in." Yiqingyao's soft words came from inside. She had already sensed it when Changge approached the door. "Yes, master." Changge pushed open the door and entered. Yiqingyao was still there sipping tea, her beautiful eyes gleaming with youthfulness. Seeing him go and come back, she opened her silver teeth lightly and asked, "Disciple, why did you come to me?" This disciple just went to the Sutra Collection Pavilion, and by chance, got this skill. Changge didn't hide anything, and told everything about the sloppy old man. There is no need to hide it, after all, Yiqingyao is not an outsider. She treats him well and is always there for him. Therefore, he cannot bear to hide it. What? You actually have such a great opportunity. Hearing his words, Yi Qingyao was startled, her beautiful eyes widened, looking at him in disbelief. Putting aside the sloppy old man, she has been to the sutra pavilion countless times and has never paid attention to the bookshelf on the first floor. But I never thought that there was such a terrifying book on the bookshelf under my nose, in such a conspicuous place. Taixuan Dao Sacred Scripture. As far as she knows, this is a secret technique that is not passed down by the sect. Only the sect leader will pass this technique on to someone he particularly admires. Under normal circumstances, it will never be passed on to anyone. Not even the peak master can do it. Disciple got a big deal this time. However, what Su Changge said next shocked her heart and made her even more surprised. Su Changge handed the Taixuan Dao slaying scripture to her and said with a smile, "Master, I am here for no other reason than to give you this technique. Take it." Ah! Yi Qingyao's cherry mouth suddenly opened wide, and her pretty, white and crystal clear face was full of disbelief. This, such a terrifying technique, my disciple actually wanted to give it to me? Is this real? Incredible, it's like a dream. She couldn't believe her ears. Why don't you keep it for yourself, but you want to give it to me? Shocked words came from her mouth. Su Changge smiled lightly and said, "Master, if you are good to me, I will definitely be good to you." This simple sentence was like Cupid's arrow hitting Yi Qingyao's heart, making her heart beat violently. Even his breathing began to quicken. If I am good to him, he will be good to me. Yi Qingyao kept murmuring in her heart, carefully comprehending the meaning of this sentence, reminiscing that he just gave me a treasure not long ago, and now it comes again. Could it be that he really came? Thinking of this, a blush suddenly appeared on her cheeks, like a gorgeous tulip blooming shyly and colorfully. This. Ahem, since you gave me something as a gift, how can I not accept it? Anyway, I will accept it. Yi Qingyao had thousands of thoughts in his mind, and he felt happy in his heart. He stretched out his jade hand to receive the Taixuan Dao slashing scripture. Su Changge nodded, and then asked, "Master, do you know the name of the old man at the door of the Sutra Pavilion? What is his identity?" Just now, the sloppy old man didn't tell him his name or his status in the sect, so Su Changge was very curious and had the urge to break the casserole and ask the question, but of course he wouldn't ask the sloppy old man. Him? Yi Qingyao's eyes suddenly became solemn and said, "I don't know exactly. I just remember that when I was very young, he was already there drinking and living his life, very decadent. The sect master once told me in private that his surname is Su, but he doesn't have a real name. He only allows us peak masters to call him Mr. Su respectfully. As for the identity, I don't know." Su Changge nodded. This answer was also what he expected. Mr. Su's identity is so mysterious, it seems that he must be a terrifying big shot in the sect, probably a very high-level existence. By the way, you have to remember Mr. Su's kindness to you silently and repay the favor in the future. Yi Qingyao added at this time. Su Changge naturally knew this, nodded and said, "Disciple, please remember this." Next, Yi Qingyao opened the Taixuan Dao slashing scripture in his hand, looked at it for a moment, and a flash of enlightenment flashed in his eyes. She only felt that the words in the holy book were extremely vast, like the endless deep sea, full of profound meanings, pure and majestic, but these are not too difficult for her. In fact, Su Changge couldn't understand the technique, and even if he practiced it himself, he wouldn't be able to start, so sending it out is the right choice. Soon, Yi Qingyao understood all the sacred scriptures of Taixuan Dao Zhan, and the secrets in his mind were rolling like waves in a river, continuously and endlessly. This is a technique for tempering the soul. It is divided into 9 levels and is very mysterious and profound. Once completed, the soul can be tempered to the extreme and become immune to any mental attack. Many monks in this world not only use physical attacks, but also use spiritual attacks. The most common mental attack is illusion, which can disrupt one's 5 senses, causing one to become insane, confused, and ultimately defeated. This kind of attack is the most terrifying, invisible and intangible, making it difficult to guard. But after practicing the Taixuan Dao slashing code, I was immune to them all. As practice deepens, the aura on Yi Qingyao's body suddenly surged, and then there was a terrifying pressure, like Huanghangwei falling, sweeping in all directions. Breakthrough. Everything happened naturally, without any hesitation. Yi Qingyao exhaled slightly, looked at Su Changge with her beautiful eyes, revealing colorful brilliance, and said softly, "Disciple, this time I want to thank you, right? What reward do you want?" Chapter 13, Super Critical Strike, Taichu Jidao Holy Scripture, Cultivation Level Surges Again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Award. Su Changge really didn't expect that his master would give him a reward this time. Is there any reason not to do so? Master, my disciple doesn't choose. Whatever you give me, my disciple will take what he wants. He smiled lightly. Yi Qingyao thought for a moment, took out a golden elixir from his arms, and said with a smile, "This is the Nirvana Divine Phoenix Pill. It has extremely strong recovery power. As long as a seriously injured person still has breath, just take this elixir and the injury will be healed. Recover everything in one breath and return to your peak state." Su Changge stretched out his hand to take it, and saw that the object was round and golden in color. It smelled of a tangy aroma, which was extremely rich. For a moment, he was overjoyed. This is the holy medicine for healing. With this item, you can have a chance of resurrection, just like a certain game I played in my previous life. I was wearing a piece of resurrection armor. Immediately, he stood up and left. I just returned to my residence and the system subsidy arrived on time. Ding! You gave away a copy of Taixuan Dao Sacred Book. Tens of billions of subsidies take effect, triggering supercritical hits. This supercritical hit multiplier, 365,000 times. Congratulations to the host for obtaining Taichu Jidao Code. Taichu Jidao Code. Su Changge's heart skipped a beat. The most terrifying Dao weapon in the fantasy world is the Jidao weapon, so naming this thing after Jidao is definitely not a good thing. The system sounds, system prompt. The secret method originated from a powerful immortal king in ancient times can temper the physical body and the spiritual soul at the same time. It is divided into 18 levels. When cultivated to the extreme, the physical body is as solid as a rock, and the strength of the spiritual soul will also jump to terrifying levels, making it immune to everything. Psychic attack. Damn it. It's really not a good thing. Su Changge took a deep breath, truly shocked. Time division, ancient times, medieval times, modern times, and now. Taixuan Dao Sacred Code can only temper the soul, but Taichu Jidao Code can not only temper the soul, but also temper the physical body at the same time. Both can be tempered, which is terrifying. You can imagine how terrifying it would be when the body and soul are tempered over and over again, and the whole person suddenly has no shortcomings. Immediately, he closed the door, sat down cross-legged, and began to meditate. Everything returned from system subsidies has been analyzed, and the text above is easy to understand. Su Changge took one look and immediately understood it, without any sluggishness. Boom! Boom boom boom, there were sounds of war drums coming from his body, as if a holy hammer was hammering his body, and he also felt that there was a sacred sledgehammer in his soul, tempering his soul. The two are carried out at the same time. Every time you exercise, your body and soul will strengthen 1 point, steadily strengthening. Level 1. Second floor. The 3rd floor. The 10th floor. 12th floor. The 16th floor. The 18th floor. Less than half an hour, Su Changge then revised the Taichu Jidao Code to the top level. Boom! A vast and profound aura swept over him, as deep as the ocean, sweeping in all directions. The air around him exploded and crackled. His cultivation level also broke through his own limit in an instant and skyrocketed. Boom! Breakthrough. Second level of mortal transformation. The 3rd level of mortal transformation. The 4th level of mortal transformation. The 5th level of mortal transformation. The 7th level of mortal transformation. The 8th level of mortal transformation. 9th level of mortal transformation. Boom, half-step to golden body. After the mortal realm, there is the golden body realm. Under the training of the Taichu Jidao code, Su Changge's cultivation soared, and he stepped into the half-step golden body in just a few moments. At this time, he found that a faint golden color appeared on the surface of his body, just like the golden arhat in Buddhism, shining with golden light. And as his cultivation level improved, his physical strength also skyrocketed. 109,000 caddies. 200,000 caddies. 201,000 caddies. 300,000 pounds. 302,000 caddies. The improvement brought about by the tempering of the Jidao code was terrifying. Su Changge felt that his whole body was full of energy, the power in his body surged, and his strength skyrocketed. It feels so good to have power. But soon, he calmed down and hid his cultivation in the golden body realm. Yes, I have to survive. Only in this way can the whole sect be caught off guard as a dark horse. The most important thing is that his improvement is too fast. If he attracts others' attention, it will cause trouble. He still understands the truth behind holding a jade in his hands. Immediately, he closed his eyes and continued to temper his body and soul. As his practice deepened, he discovered that this skill was extraordinary. Once it was in operation, it could activate physical power to attack, as well as swordsmanship, palm skills, boxing, various martial arts to attack. This is a Tiger Bomb skills book. If we use martial arts to explain it, it is internal strength and mental skills. Su Changge's eyes became brighter and brighter, and he felt extremely happy. While Su Changge was practicing, Wang Jinglong came to a secret room angrily at Taifeng. The secret room was dark and lightless, and roars like dragons and tigers could be heard. Waves of coercion swept across, and the terrifying aura caused air waves to explode, which was extremely powerful. Wang Jinglong stood in front of the door, saluted respectfully, and said, "Brother, I can't swallow this breath, please stand up for me." The man in the secret room is his recognized elder brother. He is not a fool. He knows that after Su Changge returns, he will definitely practice that technique. His strength will definitely increase dramatically. Naturally, he will not be afraid of him at that time. Therefore, he must ask his elder brother to take action. Details. A low voice came from the secret room. Wang Jinglong quickly told the whole story. Bang! A terrifying explosion broke out in the secret room, and the door was directly torn through by a strong true qi, and a tall and burly figure walked out. His name is Xuanhuan, a real golden body realm expert, and his cultivation is at the 9th level of the golden body realm. At this moment, he twisted his neck and roared, "The technique is needed, and his life is also needed. Let's go." Chapter 14. Since you are looking for death, I will grant your wish. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The other side, Zheng of the house Su Changge practiced hard, and the bones, meridians, cells, and soul in his body were tempered one after another, becoming extremely tough, like steel. The sound of thousands of troops and horses galloping out of the body burst out. About a few breaths later, he suppressed the voice and then looked at his changes. Looking inside, I can see that the meridians have been tempered thousands of times, making them tough and straight, becoming like bones. And the bones were tempered to be extremely hard, like a rock. As for the cells in the body, they become like iron pills, flowing turbulently in the body, breaking through mountains and seas. Even the blood has been tempered like red-hot iron juice, hard and indestructible, and extremely strong. Crack! Su Changge clenched his fist, and his fist suddenly erupted with crisp explosions, like firecrackers being exploded, crackling. He walked out, found a rock that was 10 meters thick and 5 meters high, ran the Taichu Jidao code, and punched it. Boom! There was a deafening explosion, and the tall and heavy rock was directly penetrated by a punch, and the broken stone walls around it exploded inch by inch. Without even a breath, the entire stone exploded into powder. Is this my current power? It's really terrifying. Su Changge was shocked. In fact, he only used a small amount of force in this punch, just to test its power. If he uses all his strength and hits the big rock with a full force of 302,000 kilograms, it is unknown how terrifying it will be, but if it hits someone, he will probably pee on the spot. People are not compared to stones, but their bodies are much more fragile than stones. If the stone is exploded with one punch, that person is even less needed. While thinking about this, Changge was also estimating his true strength now. The blood-red infuriating energy can bring an 8-fold increase in strength, and combined with the strength of 302,000 kilograms, killing across the border is like killing a chicken but a dog. His current strength is enough to kill a half-step phase monk. After the golden body realm, there is the Dharma phase realm. With the cultivation of a half-step golden body, if he encounters a half-step golden body, he will blow it up with one punch. Extremely overbearing and unreasonable. Immediately, he took off his cultivation breath and prepared to go back to the house. However, as soon as he turned around, he suddenly noticed that his vision went dark, and a bald head rushed over. The bald head was furious, and he pointed at Changge's nose and shouted, "Brother, that's him." Changge took a closer look and realized that this person was actually Wang Jinglong, who had just parted ways. And behind him was a burly man, also bald, with a sinewy face, and a green dragon tattooed on the right half of his face. The dragon's eyes happened to be his eyes. He was staring at him fiercely and sneered again and again. "It's Xianhui. Son, hand over that skill book, and I can be merciful and leave you a whole body." Xianhui glanced at Changge coldly and said fiercely. He could not sense any cultivation from Changge, such a weakling. He boasts that he can beat him to pieces with just one finger without even using his fists. Wang Jinglong also smiled ferociously at the side and said, "Changge, if you have enough sense, hand over that skill. I'm kindly advising you, but don't drink the wine as a penalty." Changge didn't even raise his eyelids and said calmly, "What if I don't give it?" Crack! Xianhui clenched his fist and made a crisp bone-crunching sound. Without saying anything, he swung his fist fiercely and hit a big rock next to him. Boom kaka! The stone was more than half a man tall and 3 meters thick. It immediately disintegrated under this punch, as if it was made of mud, and exploded into slag. "I, Xianhui, have never been a cruel person. If you don't, you will end up like this stone." Harsh words came from Xianhui's mouth. On the side, Wang Jinglong straightened his chest high and said with an air of dignity, "Did you see that my eldest brother is so tyrannical? You'd better hand over your things obediently, so as not to be punchy and blind." He was actually afraid that Changge would hide that skill elsewhere. "Otherwise, if you kill Changge rashly, your efforts will be in vain." Changge smiled instead of getting angry. I had to laugh. Each of these two people was more arrogant than the other. As soon as I broke through and my strength skyrocketed, these two people couldn't wait to come to my door. It's really a long way to send someone's head. In this case, there is only one word: kill. After the killing is over, we will conduct a routine search. At this moment, he looked at Wang Jinglong and Xianhui as if they were two walking treasure houses. With the cultivation levels of Wang Jinglong and Xianhui, they must have more things on their bodies than Wang Shan, he was sure. "Why are you laughing? You are looking for death." Xianhui saw that Changge was not only not afraid, but also laughed out loud. He suddenly became furious and rushed forward, forcing Changge into the corner. There were two walls behind Changge, which formed a corner. Xianhui blocked him in this corner. "It seems that if you don't eat the toast, you will be punished with a drink." Wang Jinglong also came over and joined forces with Xianhui to block Changge in the corner. Being squeezed like this, Changge laughed again and said coldly, "Okay. Since you are looking for death, then I will help you." Chapter 15. Kneel down and kowtow to apologize to me. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Unexpectedly, Xianhui also laughed after hearing this, and said in a deep voice, "What can you use to kill us? Stop talking nonsense and take my punch." Boom! His aura surged, like a dragon or a tiger, his bones and joints crackled, and he punched with a force like a wave. He wanted to subdue Changge with one punch, and then slowly torture him. Wang Jinglong laughed and shouted wildly, "Ha ha ha ha, my big brother is angry, it's too late for you to regret now." "I will regret it." "What a joke." Facing this punch, Changge didn't blink, took a deep breath, and operated the Taichu Jidao code. The blood-red true qi in his body also started to operate, and the meridians suddenly burst out with the sound of angry waves, and the bones and fascia crackled. A terrifying momentum suddenly broke out. Boom! The ground couldn't bear this momentum, and it exploded directly, and billowing smoke rose. What? Wang Jinglong was shocked. Xiang Wei's face also changed, and his heart was awe-inspiring. Changge didn't say much. Facing Xiang Wei's punch, he also punched forward. In the blink of an eye, the two fists collided fiercely. Bang! There was a blast in the air, sweeping out endless wind and waves, rustling and raging. Ah! Wang Jinglong only heard a scream of extreme pain, and immediately realized that his eyes went black, and a figure flew backwards in a mess. It was Xiang Wei who flew backwards. His burly body seemed to be a weak sapling, and was directly blown away, spitting blood while flying. Wang Jinglong was stunned. His horrified face was full of disbelief. What was going on? Big brother was actually punched away by Changge. He looked at Xiang Wei, and saw that Xiang Wei was extremely miserable. His fist and the whole arm were exploded, revealing the eerie white bones of his shoulder, and blood was dripping. It was so miserable. One punch. Changge used only one punch to blow up Xiang Wei's entire arm. Xiang Wei's face suddenly changed, extremely pale, bloodless, as if he had experienced the most incredible thing in the world. His mouth opened huge, unbelievable. How could this Changge be so strong? Stop. Today's matter ends here, goodbye. With a swish, Xiang Wei raised his foot and walked away without looking back. You come as you want, leave as you want. It's not that easy. Changge snorted coldly and dodged and chased after him. There was a loud explosion in his body, and his strength was fully exerted. His whole body was beating, and his bones were shaking. The blood-red true energy stirred the blood in his body and rumbled, and he punched Xiang Wei's back. Xiang Wei was horrified, and hurriedly turned around, gritted his teeth, took out a thick iron shield, and blocked it in front of him. Crack! Crack! The iron shield burst out with a shocking explosion, and was penetrated by this punch, shattered inch by inch, and exploded into pieces. Xiang Wei's face changed suddenly, and he begged for mercy. No. Junior brother Su, stop, I shouldn't. Bang! Changge was merciless. His fist pierced through the iron shield, all the way to Huanglong, and hit Xiang Wei's chest hard. Bang! Bang! Crack! Xiang Wei's chest collapsed downwards, his ribs broke, broken pieces flew, blood flowed, and then with a bang, his chest was directly blown through, organs flew everywhere, and a big hole was opened in his chest. Xiang Wei's face was pale, he only screamed, and turned his head with all his strength to look at Wang Jinglong, and then his body fell to the ground with a plop, and there was no sound. His eyes were still open, staring at Wang Jinglong, and he died with his eyes open. If it weren't for Wang Jinglong, he wouldn't have run into a tough guy today and lie dead here. Wang Jinglong was in an uproar, frightened and at a loss. His heart was terrified. The elder brother of the 9th level of the golden body was punched by Changge, and a big hole was blown in his chest. Is he so terrifying? Changge glanced at him coldly and said, Wang Jinglong, do you regret what you did just now? No, I was just talking nonsense, don't take it to heart. Wang Jinglong was so regretful now that he looked at Changge cautiously, as if he was looking at a bloodthirsty beast. Kneel down, kowtow to apologize. Changge pointed to the ground. Bang 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 bang. Wang Jinglong knelt on the ground without hesitation and kowtowed hard. Soon, blood came out of his forehead, but he kept kowtowed and didn't dare to stop. After kowtowed hundreds of times, he dared to raise his head and said tremblingly, Su. Brother Su, can you spare me? Xiang Wei's miserable condition was right in front of him, and he only felt his scalp numb, but he didn't want to follow in his footsteps. Hand over everything you have. Su Changge said coldly. Yes, big brother. Wang Jinglong's hands and feet trembled, and he fumbled around for a while, took out a storage bag, and handed it over. The storage bag was purple, and it looked bulging from the outside. Su Changge took a look and knew that there must be a lot of things in it. Brother Su, I've already given you the things, can you exchange them for my life? Wang Jinglong said in a trembling voice. Su Changge smiled coldly. Sorry, no. Bang! He attacked directly, one punch hit, and it exploded directly in the head. Ah! Wang Jinglong's head exploded instantly, and blood mixed with bone fragments splashed everywhere. Humph! Su Changge snorted coldly, and added another punch, directly hitting Wang Jinglong's body and exploding it into a ball of blood mist. Then, he walked up to Xianhui and began to search his body. As Xianhui was in the golden body realm, he must have a lot of treasures on him. Chapter 16 Huge Harvest, Mountain Shaking Fist, Kunwu Fist. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. In fact, Su Changge asked Wang Jinglong for something just now to prevent him from being blown up by a punch, and the things on his body would also explode. Then he would have worked in vain. After getting the benefits, it would not be too late to blow him up with a punch. And killing Xianhui is the same. At the moment of attack, Su Changge concentrated all his strength on Xianhui's chest. The rolling huge force gathered into one point and directly blew up Xianhui's chest. But it did not hurt the storage bag on his waist. This is also because he has now achieved perfect and easy control of power, which is the cause. Immediately, Su Changge lowered his body and groped back and forth on Xianhui's body. Xianhui's chest was broken, and blood gushed out, staining his clothes and the storage bag on his waist red. Su Changge turned the storage bag out, then he clenched his fist and punched Xianhui again. This time he did not concentrate his strength, but exploded in an all-round way. 300,000 2,000 gene of force, superimposed with the eightfold increase of blood-red true qi, directly made Xianhui's body bang and exploded like Wang Jinglong, turning into blood mist. Not even ashes were left. Immediately, Su Changge went to Qingtan to take a bath and changed into new clothes. He killed 2 people in a row, and his body, fists, and robes were already stained with blood, which had to be washed, do things without leaving traces, and be neat. After finishing all this, he went back to the house and began to check the 2 storage bags. Su Changge took the lead in unsealing Xianhui's storage bag. What came into view was a space of about dozens of square meters. About the size of 2 rooms, there were 7 or 8 secret books in it. He took a look and saw that they were Shaking Mountain Fist, Yulong Fist, and one was Kunwu Fist. Most of the other books were boxing techniques, and only one was a sword technique. In addition, there are 7 or 8 weapons, including spears and broadswords, all of which are top-grade common weapons, and the quality is 1 level lower than that given by the sloppy old man. Spirit stones. Suddenly, he laughed. At the bottom of the storage bag, there is a pile of glittering spirit stones. A sweep of his divine sense revealed that there are more than 3,000 pieces, all of which are top-grade spirit stones. Don't look at these more than 3,000 spirit stones, which can buy a lot of things, because each piece of spirit stone is hard to come by. Spirit stone grades, low grade, medium grade, high grade, and top grade. 100 middle grade spirit stones can be exchanged for 1 top-grade spirit stone, and 100 top-grade spirit stones can be exchanged for 1 top-grade spirit stone. These 3,200 top-grade spirit stones are all Xianhui's hard-earned assets, and now they are all cheap to Su Changge. Immediately, he began to check Wang Jinglong's storage bag. Wang Jinglong was not as rich as Xianhui. There were only more than 900 low-grade spirit stones, and some other elixirs and weapons in his storage bag. Even a mosquito leg is meat. Su Changge smiled lightly, and his mentality was very good. Next, he planned to give all these things to the beautiful master, but, just as he was about to go out, he suddenly thought of something and changed his mind. With the master's vision, you may not be interested in these boxing techniques, right? You may not be interested in these ordinary weapons, right? That the beautiful master is the master of a peak. These things can certainly be given away, but, don't you think it's shabby? Only by giving her treasures can you have a face. But this is naturally not difficult for Changge. He turned his mind and soon came up with a new plan. Why not do this? Go down the mountain and sell all these things, exchange them for a large amount of spirit stones, and then give them to her. This way, the system will definitely subsidize more spirit stones. Changge smiled, send money, and then the system will overcritically subsidize more money. He is simply a business genius. The most important thing is that he can experience the pleasure of throwing a lot of money on a woman's face. When he gets the spiritual stones back from the subsidy, he will absorb them directly, and his cultivation will rise rapidly. This wave is so cool. After making up his mind, he prepared to go down the mountain. Wait a minute, I can't use this Qishao blade at all. It will just gather dust if I keep it on me. Why don't I go to find my master before leaving and give it to her? Changge suddenly remembered the spiritual weapon given by the sloppy old man. He took it out, opened the scabbard, and a dagger with a sharp cold light was exposed in the air. The cold light was flashing, which made people shudder. The Xuan-level spiritual weapon is extremely sharp, cutting stones like cutting watermelons. It is a treasure. But he can't use it at all, so he might as well use it to brush stronger spiritual weapons. Ah! What brushing spiritual weapons, it's clearly a filial piety. Immediately, he pushed the door open and walked towards Xianxia's residence. P.S. Thank you, Love Fish Pond, for the $1 reward. Thank you. Chapter 17 The disciples' filial piety towards the master has deteriorated. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Along a mountain road, not long after, Changge came to Xianxia's door again, counting the number of times. This is already the third time. It's quite frequent today. Shaking his head to drive away the distracting thoughts in his mind, he knocked on the door and said, Master, are you there? Here, the door is open, come in. Xianxia's soft voice came from inside. Changge actually guessed that the door was probably unlocked, but facing the beautiful master, he must maintain the image of a modest gentleman. Think no more. He opened the door and stepped in. Xianxia is no longer sipping tea, but is at the pool, holding some bait and throwing it into the water. There were several goldfish flapping happily in the water, grabbing the bait. Disciple, what's wrong? Xianxia turned around and looked at him with doubtful eyes. She was a little confused. What happened to her disciple today? Why did he come so often? After all, it's been 3 times. What happened? Changge smiled lightly and said, Master, I forgot before. Mr. Su from the Sutra Pavilion gave me a Xuan-level spiritual weapon. It is very sharp. I want to give it to you. Then, he took out the dagger and handed it to Xianxia. Xianxia patted her white forehead and suddenly realized, the 3rd time, this is my 3rd time to give something to myself. If he didn't mean it, no one would believe it, right? No wonder he came so frequently today. It turned out to be a hint to himself. Disciple, you can use this spiritual weapon for self-defense. Why did you give it to me? Xianxia felt that she should be sure, so Ruru's words came out of her mouth. Changge didn't think too much, and smiled without thinking. There's not much reason. I just think you are beautiful, master, so I want to give you a gift. Gift? Xianxia murmured in her heart, send me a gift. Her eyebrows relaxed, and her heart rippled. My disciple has given me gifts over and over again, and also complimented me on my beauty. He must like me, so his move should be a hint to me, right? After all, how can you take your own things and give them away casually? And there are so many people in the sect, but he doesn't give gifts to anyone, but only to me. This must be. Many thoughts flashed through her mind, and her pretty face gradually changed, turning red inch by inch, with a pink blush filling her cheeks, blooming like a shy flower. The heartbeat also gradually accelerated. I was nervous, and my breathing was rapid, but here, Changge saw her face gradually turning red, and suddenly felt confused. Why did Master's face suddenly turn red? Could it be that something embarrassing happened? Hey, could it be because of myself, that he suddenly reacted? I have come here over and over again today, giving away this and that. As long as it is a treasure, I have given away everything. Has Master misunderstood something? Oh, my filial piety has deteriorated. The Master's heart towards his disciple has also changed. This is. While thinking about it, I suddenly saw Yi Qingyao's pretty face as red as a spring peach blossom, elegant and gorgeous. She opened her white teeth and said softly, "Disciple, I know what you are thinking, then I will accept it." Heart, mind. Accept? Su Changge understood, her heart and hers have deteriorated. Yi Qingyao took the mystic-level spirit weapon, then smiled like a flower, looked at him shyly, opened and closed her red lips, and whispered, "Disciple, since you have thoughts about me, why not? I just marry you, you got it." That she said this in a joking tone. I also keep reminding myself in my heart that I must be reserved, but I can't be reserved. He's so handsome, no one else could stand him. When Su Changge heard her words, his eyes were slightly surprised, but he quickly returned to normal and said, "Okay." He is not a hypocritical person. Beauties are coming to his door. If he refuses, then he is still not a man. As he spoke, he stretched out his arms and took Yi Qingyao into his arms. Ah! Yi Qingyao let out a loud cry and trembled. The first time she was touched by a man, she was confused and her mind went blank. The heart also beats faster. He was also completely convinced in his heart, he really means it. This, disciple, her cheeks turned red to the roots of her ears for an instant, and she screamed in a panic, "This will have a bad impact. Those who are exposed to light, wait for now, and then." Instead, Su Changge hugged her tighter, lowered his head and said with a smile, "What are you afraid of? There is no one else in Lihua Peak, and no one can see her." Yi Qingyao didn't know what to do. She only knew that what Su Changge said was indeed the truth. She and Su Changge were the only two people in Lihua Peak, and no one else was there, so you can still be afraid that others can see it? She lowered her head and said no more, but he stretched out his jade hands and hugged Su Changge's waist tightly. It took a long time before the two separated. "Master, I want to go down the mountain. It can take as little as half a day or as long as 1 day. I will be back soon." Su Changge naturally knew what was going on, but there was no specific reason for going down the mountain. He wants to come back and give the beautiful master a big surprise. "Well, stay safe. I'll wait for you to come back." Yi Qingyao said softly. Her door was always ajar, covering up for Su Changge. Chapter 18 Heaven-Level Spiritual Weapon, Dragon Slaying Sword. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At the foot of the mountain, it had just rained, and the mountains looked empty and covered with rain. A figure in white walks on the road. He was high-spirited and full of energy, steady steps and heroic demeanor. It was Su Changge. "There is a beautiful woman at home waiting for me to come back. This feeling is comfortable." That he was cheerful and energetic. It has to be said that there is a beautiful woman waiting for you at home forever. This kind of solid feeling cannot be bought with any amount of money. At this moment, in my mind, the system subsidy arrived. Ding! You sent a mysterious level spiritual weapon, the Scarlet Sky Blade, with tens of billions of subsidies taking effect, triggering a super-critical strike. This super-critical hit multiplier, 362,000 times. Congratulations to the host for obtaining, super spiritual weapon, dragon slaying knife. What? Su Changge was shocked. It turned out to be a dragon slaying knife. The supreme martial artist, the sword slaying the dragon, he remembered the familiar BG. He is familiar with this knife. It's not like I haven't read Leaning to Slay the Dragon written by a certain master-level writer in my previous life, so I am naturally very familiar with this knife. But, something seems wrong. This is a fantasy world. What use would you give a sword to a martial arts world? Isn't this a blow from reverse dimensionality reduction by others? Suddenly, the system sound sounded. System prompt. The dragon-slaying knife is a weapon left behind by a powerful immortal king in ancient times. It is extremely powerful. It can be cut with one knife and is indestructible. It can go up the mountain to capture dragons and enter the sea to kill whales. Oh. Understood. It turns out to be the weapon of a powerful immortal king. Changge raised his brows and was overjoyed. As terrifying as the immortal king-level powerhouse is, it doesn't take much. He immediately opened the system space. I saw a huge, thick blade inserted straight into the chaotic space. The knife is more than 10 meters long. The blade is very wide, large, and thick. The lines are strong and straight, like a large guillotine. The back of the sword is pure black as ink. When viewed from the side, it is as wide as the palm of your hand. It is extremely thick and exudes a domineering aura. The blade was snow white, reflecting a human face, and the sharp point was very thin, almost like a leaf. The dragon-slaying sword has no scabbard, because it is too big and heavy. No scabbard can fit it. There is also a thick iron chain wrapped around its handle, which is as thick as an arm, exuding a strong fighting spirit. Changge just looked at it from a distance and felt a domineering and strong aura coming towards his face, extremely strong and profound. He stepped forward and held the handle of the knife with both hands, but found that he couldn't lift it. When I scanned it with my spiritual consciousness, I found that it weighed 1,000,000 kilograms. Changge was shocked. His current strength is only 302,000 kilograms, but this sword exceeds his strength by nearly 3 times. If you want to pick it up, you must activate the blood-red chi to lift it. Drink! He shouted loudly, gritted his teeth, and activated the blood-red chi. Thick true energy flowed through his body, running through his limbs and bones, providing him with strong strength. Buzz! The dragon-slaying knife trembled, and he shook it an inch. Move forward a little. So heavy, so heavy. As expected of a super-spiritual soldier, Changge was sweating on his forehead, but he was overjoyed. This knife made him use all his strength for the first time, and he had a hearty feeling. It's unimaginable how terrifying it would be if someone used a dragon-slaying knife to kill people. Boom! He was running the Taichu Jidao code, and the strength in his body was exhausted. His bones and joints made a crackling sound, and his meridians bulged. Thick veins protrude from the body surface, and the strength expands. Go get this knife again. Finally. The dragon-slaying knife was lifted up by him, raised high above his head. Pick it up. At this moment, Changge suddenly felt the pleasure of conquering it. After playing with it for a while, he put down the dragon-slaying knife and then exited the system space. After all, this thing is too big. It's good to store it in the system space and take it out when needed. Next, he took out a sword. Yu Jian Fei Shao, the direction is south. He planned to go to Dunhuang City, which was a prosperous capital city covering an extremely large area. There were people from all walks of life in the city, and it was rich and prosperous. There are also many big markets, which are a good place to sell things. An hour later, Changge arrived above a black pine forest. This is the only place to go to Dunhuang City. He didn't care at first, however. When passing by here, I suddenly raised my eyebrows and sensed an unusual aura below. The aura was extremely explosive and violent. Like a demonic person, filled with a murderous evil aura. There is also a smell. That was the breath of a righteous monk, but judging from the perception, it seemed extremely weak, as if he was being oppressed. Changge figured it out quickly. There are demonic cultivators below who are killing the righteous cultivators. Suddenly, as if someone was passing by, an urgent cry for help came from the black pine forest. Help! Save the woman! Who can save me? Chapter 19 Black Pine Forest. When you see injustice, draw your sword to help. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hearing the cry for help, Change's eyes narrowed. Although he is not the Holy Mother, but there is no coexistence between good and evil, so it's not a bad thing to do something like punishing evil and promoting good. A feeling of boldness suddenly arose in my heart. When I saw injustice on the road, I roared, and when it was time to take action, I took action. Call out! He harnessed the long sword and flew towards the black pine forest. At this time, deep in the black pine forest, the sunlight was blocked, the surroundings were dark and gloomy, and a demonic aura shrouded it, as if dark clouds were pressing over it, making people feel heart palpitating. A beautiful woman in her 30s fell to the ground, with a few traces of blood spilling from the corner of her mouth. She is quite pretty, wearing a purple cheongsam, and her curvy figure is vaguely visible. but now a large piece of this cheongsam has been torn off. Call, even if you call, no one will save you. Today, I will decide your fate. A young man wearing black armor and a black and white ghost face mask grinned ferociously, approaching her inch by inch. The coercion on him was too strong, and the demonic power was raging. Every step he took was like darkness expelling light. The heart-rending screams of ghosts could be heard in the darkness, sending chills down one's spine. This person has a half-step approach to phase state. The pressure just overflowed from her body, just like a mountain pressing down from the sky. The beautiful woman who was crushed was pale and her eyes were desperate. She grabbed the last straw, hoping to awaken the last trace of conscience in the young man, and said, "Brother, you look like you are in your early 20s. I am more than 10 years older than you, and I have a family." You. Arriving at home, the beautiful woman paused for a moment, with regret in her eyes. There was a carriage parked in the open space not far from her. The carriage was already broken, split in half from the middle, and a middle-aged man in his 30s fell into half of the carriage. He was cut off at the waist and blood flowed freely. "Bigger than me?" The young man wearing the grimace mask laughed ferociously and said, "This is what I like." There was an evil light in his eyes, and he scanned the beautiful woman's body carefully, not missing an inch, and exclaimed in praise, "Good. Good." As he spoke, he approached the beautiful woman step by step, and the evil light in his eyes became more and more fiery. The beautiful woman was completely desperate. The family is unlucky. She went out with her husband today. Unexpectedly, when she came to this black pine forest, she encountered a demon. Her husband was killed, her money was robbed, and she was about to be defiled. This black pine forest is called Yingying, and the ground is not functioning properly. It is conceivable that what awaits her will be a school violence. Boom! Suddenly, a flash of lightning flashed across the void, and along with the light of justice, a strong coercion emerged, rolling up thousands of wind and waves, like overwhelming mountains and seas, and the wind and the remaining clouds. Who? The young man in the grimace mask shrank his pupils, but he didn't expect that anyone would dare to disturb his good deeds. But the next moment, after seeing the person coming, his eyes suddenly flashed with disdain, and he sneered, "That's it." In his perception, Changge was only half a step closer to the golden body. And what about him? But it's a half-step method. Just this, to seek justice. Could it be that he is tired of living and wants to die? The beautiful woman also saw Changge. She felt a flash of white light in front of her eyes, and a young man in white descended, as if bringing dawn to the darkness, and the light of justice was shining and spreading. Only, when she noticed Changge's cultivation, the light in her eyes suddenly dimmed. Half-step golden body, too low. Not only can't he save himself, but he may also lose his life. Well, the beautiful woman sighed. When Changge heard her sigh, he understood what was going on, but he didn't explain it. He glanced at the grim-faced young man and said to himself, "I haven't killed any demons yet. It's good to kill one occasionally to practice my skills." Practice your hands. The sound was not loud, but when it fell into the ears of the grim-faced young man, he was shocked. What kind of guy is this, actually using himself to practice? Ha ha ha, I am a level higher than him, yet he actually wants to practice with me. What kind of anger is this? The heart is so high. This is the first time I've seen someone as shameless as you. Go to hell. The devil always kills people when they disagree. A bloody spear appeared in the hands of the grim-faced young man. The sharp blade of the spear was still stained with blood, as if he had just killed someone. At this moment, he raised his arm and waved, and the thick blue chi burst out. The spear suddenly became sharper, sparks splashed out from the tip of the spear, and murderous intent boiled. Boom! A sonic boom burst into the air, and the spear passed through, stabbing Changge in the chest. The beautiful woman's face was paler than before. She looked at Changge and tried to persuade her loudly, "Brother, this is none of your business. Even my husband is no match for him. Don't show off, leave quickly, leave quickly." The grim-faced young man sneered, "Can he get away? Since he is so nosy, then leave your life here." Boom! The spear flashed through the air like lightning, and there was a booming sound, like beating war drums, and it was as deafening as thunder. Chapter 20 I Never Planned to Leave. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I didn't plan to leave. Seeing the spear coming, Changge smiled coldly and shouted loudly. The blood-red true energy in his body suddenly burst out, like a huge wave, flowing through his arms and wrists, and then exploded. The dragon-slaying sword appeared in his hand, the huge blade of 10 meters long burst out with a domineering aura. He took a deep breath, operated the Taichu Jidao code, and the huge force in his body surged. 300,000 and 2,000 pounds of power were fully exerted, superimposed with the blood-red true energy amplification, and slashed out. One knife cut out. Like thunder in the sky, a strong wind rose out of thin air, the ground shook, the trees swayed, and the surging murderous intent gushed out like a raging wave. One knife. Just one knife. Crack, the blood-red spear that stabbed like lightning exploded directly, crackling, and it was blown into powder at a glance, vulnerable. The ghost-faced young man's face changed, and his heart was shocked. How could this righteous man be so strong that he could break his spear with one blow? The beautiful woman also opened her mouth wide, shocked and speechless. The young man who was like a killing god in her eyes was defeated by a man in white clothes who crossed a great realm and made a move. How could anyone believe this? I will take care of this trivial matter. What can you do to me? Changge laughed heroically. When you see injustice, draw your sword to help. He also had the feeling of being a hero for once. He suddenly raised the dragon-slaying sword, and the power flowed. The blood-red true energy made a surging sound in the meridians, and he chopped it again. Bang ka! Bang ka ka! A dazzling sword light, almost dazzling to the extreme, burst out from the dragon-slaying sword, and the surrounding demonic energy was directly split apart, as if the clouds were cleared and the sun was seen. This sword was powerful and heavy, and the sword light was like a python, rolling past, making a thunderous sonic boom, as if thousands of troops were galloping. The ghost-faced young man was shocked, his face turned pale as paper. He felt the threat from this knife, which was a force beyond his power, extremely terrifying. It made him feel the breath of death, as if the god of death was approaching, and the strong and domineering breath seemed to behead him. The beautiful woman was completely shocked, staring at the dazzling knife light cutting through the sky, her mouth trembling, and she was stunned. Ha! The ghost-faced young man suddenly shouted, the power in his body surged, the meridian swelled, and a strong breath of magic burst out. He tried his best to activate a formation and threw it forward. Xuan-level de Zhen, bang ka. There was a fierce demon light flashing, and in front of him, a thick black formation rose from the ground, like a magnificent great wall, a long road, 100 feet high, blocking him. The ghost-faced young man knew that if he took this knife head-on, he would be crippled if not dead. He didn't want to explain here. He must use other things to buy time to escape. After throwing out the formation, he sneered and retreated violently. He spent a lot of money to buy this Xuan-level formation from a formation master, and its defense is extremely strong. He didn't believe that he couldn't stop Changge. Boom! Boom, crack, in a flash, Changge's knife pierced through the layers of air and slashed fiercely on the demon formation. There was a deafening sound of bang, crack, crack. The formation instantly flew with sparks and crackled. It couldn't bear the heavy load and cracks appeared. The crack itself was only a trace, but in an instant, it was magnified. Boom, crack, sparks flew, the formation was completely overwhelmed, and the cracks were magnified inch by inch. A big hole was cut from top to bottom in the formation. The 100-foot-high pass collapsed directly and was split into two halves. And the remaining power of this knife continued to chop forward. Not good, the ghost-faced young man was shocked, his face was panicked, and he became as pale as paper. Can't even the demon-suppressing formation stop him? The beautiful woman was stunned. His mouth was so big that an egg could almost fit in it. How much force should this knife have? In the blink of an eye, the dragon-slaying sword slashed, and the domineering blade split the sky, the hurricane was surging, and the rolling murderous intent swept through like a wave, exuding a terrifying pressure that made people terrified. The ghost-faced young man watched this scene with his own eyes, knowing that he had hit a wall today, and he didn't dare to fight hard, so he ran away. Want to leave? Can you get away? Su Changge replied with his original words.